Hello there, this is Dr. Wolfe, and if you're watching this video, you've recently joined my class, and I wanted to make this video as a way for you to, as easily as possible, kind of get into the logistics of the course to be as successful as possible. So I'm on Canvas, and I'm going to click on our Mr. Wolfe Biology site, and you're going to see a bear waving, and essentially, we don't really use Canvas for a lot of the main materials of the course. Instead, it's going to take you to this link right here, Mr. Wolfe Biology Google site. So when we click on that link, it's going to take us here to this home page. All right? You can see my email address if you ever need to email me, and I'm going to scroll down here where it says new to class. So here are the things that you need to know while joining the class, and I want to go over. The first thing is this Canvas quiz. You're eventually going to take a quiz on Canvas, so we actually do use Canvas for some things, all right, based on the video you're watching right now. All right, so 3 things that you need to get started with is you need to make a Remind account. So when you click on a Remind account, you're going to text this number, this message, and you'll join my class. This allows me to send the class reminder text after school, something like, hey, long weekend, remember that we have this project upcoming. In addition, you need to complete this safety contract. So when you click on the safety contract, it looks like this. Make sure that you read through it, review it, familiarize yourself. I'll make sure to go over safety things in lab too, but it's important that you have this foundation. And then make sure that you sign it and that you have your parents sign it as well. And then you'll turn it in. How do you do this if it's electronically? On your iPad, you'll say, once you open up this document, open up in Notability, and then you could write on it. Once you've written on it, you could export it as a PDF, and now that's something that you could share, things like that. So how are you going to submit assignments like this? All right. Now, before I show that, one other thing that you're going to complete is the individual student profile. Now, it's possible that you've already completed this, right? This worksheet right here that has some of just some questions about you. All right. If you did this on paper, you might also be getting this for the first time online. That's fine. All right. I'm going to show you how to submit both of these. So we do use Canvas for two things. And I'm going to go to Student View. So this is a little bit more of what you see. And I'm going to click on Modules right here. All right. Modules are kind of like our units. And here's going to be our first unit, Unit 1. But here's the Starting the Class module. And it says Submit Individual Student Profile, Submit Safety Contract. So how do you do that? All right. For the safety contract, I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to click Start Assignment. And then here I could upload my assignment. All right. Again, if you've opened up the safety contract, signed in on Notability, exported it as a PDF, all right, you could upload it there, just electronically. What about if you're submitting the individual student profile? This thing right here. You may have done it on paper. How do you submit it? You'll submit a lot of things on paper. What you'll do is you're going to take a picture with your iPad and then just upload that picture right here, submit the assignment. It's just as easy as that. All right. Now, the other thing that we will use Canvas for is quizzes. So after watching this video, you'll take a quiz to make sure that you have the logistics down of this course, and you'll take that here, joining Dr. Wolfe's class. All right. All right. So let's go back to the website. All right. A couple other things for starting the class. Materials that you need. You need a binder because a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be passing out is either just packets or individual worksheets, and you're going to be almost making your book, making your materials for the class in this binder. I'm going to 3-hole punch everything so you could fit it right in the binder. Another thing that you need is a notebook. We do a lot of warm-ups in the notebook that's really, really helpful to go back and look at. All right. So what about other parts of this course, or this website? So I'm going to click on Unit 1, How Does Growing Food Impact Us? This is our first unit page. All right, there'll be mini units. We have our quotation of the week, weekly challenge. I'm going to scroll down right here to our agenda. This is one of the most important parts or resources that you could access. All right, it'll always be embedded with the day that we're on. So you could be watching this video on any day, but I'm filming this video where, let's say I'm filming it on Tuesday, August 15th. All right, and you could see quotation of the week, agenda, upcoming information. This upcoming box is super helpful to know what's upcoming. It's also really helpful because let's say you get home after a day of school and you're like, wait, was that assignment that we worked on in biology, is that due tomorrow? And you're not sure. You could always, no fail, come to the agenda slide for that day to see. All right. And this is the law. What I mean by that is if it's not posted here for that day, it's not due. And this has happened. It happens rarely, but sometimes I've given homework and students will say, hey, Dr. Wolfe, I checked the upcoming box on your slides yesterday and they weren't there. And I'm like, you're right. I can't make that do. There should always be a spot where you know what's upcoming. And that's this box right here. All right. Another really helpful part of the agenda slide is the agenda. This is especially helpful if you are absent. So let's say you are absent for whatever reason. Let's say, for instance, you are sick. First, focus on feeling better, but it's helpful to kind of keep up with things, right? To maybe not get too far behind. And so you'll go to the agenda and see these the small message in italics. That's my message to you if you're absent. So it looks like, okay, well, let's say I was absent on this Tuesday. Looks like we did a warm-up in class. It tells me to see the slide. So I'm just going to click forward, and boom, here's the warm-up. I could complete this in my notebook, right? And I'm going to go back, and it says, okay, logistics. What the heck does that mean? All right, well, I'll go through the slides, and okay, I could see a little bit more information here on logistics. All right. Now, it's not on this agenda slide, but sometimes it'll say, hey, see worksheet on the Unit 1 page. And I'll say, like, see, I don't know, the practice number 1 or something like that. So on the site, if we scroll down here, here are all the files, all the links, all the keys to the class. Like everything we have in class, all the materials are going to be right here. So let's say it said, see biology worksheet. I would go here and I would click on the biology worksheet and I would be able to complete it as a way to catch up. Maybe I'm coming back after being absent and I want to catch up on what we did yesterday. It's a really, really helpful way to access everything. All right. Or let's just say you left a worksheet in class. You could always access it right here. It'll always be there. All right. Now, let's say you're absent. You're looking at this stuff. You're looking at the slides, but you're a little confused on the stuff. All right. That's fine. All right. You could send an email, or you could just come into class the next day and say, hey, Dr. Wolfe, I was absent. I looked at the slides, but I had a little bit of trouble with this. Awesome. All right. We'll go over it. All right. What I don't want you to do is to come into class and say, what did we do? All right. That's your responsibility to, I don't know, this is kind of tweaking on me. It's your responsibility to look at this agenda, look at everything, and then ask me questions on this. All right. So again, files, links, keys, all here linked. All right. Another really important part of this site is the scientific practice pages. There are going to be more scientific practices coming soon. All right. But in this course, we have our photosynthesis, cellular respiration, ecology, DNA unit. We have all different types of units. But at the end of the day, you are going to be assessed on the exact same skills throughout the entire course, throughout the entire year, both semesters. All right. So there's always there's always a reference page for you to go back and say, like, hey, I need to refresh myself on planning investigations or analyzing or interpreting data. You could head to these sites. So I'm going to click on, for instance, analyzing data. All right. All of these pages have the same format. Just a little briefly, what is the skill? How do you do it? So here's some notes essentially of like, okay, these are the things that you need to do to make a proper graph. All right. And sometimes I'll embed videos of me explaining how to do that too. All right. Really helpful if you're not in class. Here are the success criteria on what that you need for that graph. And then there's also going to be examples that you could learn from. It looks like I don't have that example yet, but if I click on planning investigations and I go down to, are there examples that I could learn from? Yep. Right here are some examples that I could learn from. All right, so another really helpful part of the site. All right. Lastly, just a couple things. All right, in class, I want you to succeed. I want you to do as best as you can in this course. All right, and one of the best ways you could do that is to access your resources. That means this website. That means the agenda slides, going back to notes right here. Really, really helpful way to look back at things. Going back to keys, files, things like that. Really helpful to go to these scientific practice pages. But when you're in class, right, access these things, but talk to your peers, right? If your peers still haven't come up with an explanation, ask me. I am more than happy to help. Last thing. Overall, I stick to due dates, right? So let's say something's upcoming. I stick to it. But guys, I understand life happens. So let's say something comes up. What I care about is communication and early communication, right? So let's say something came up with your family where like there's something, and there's no way you could get to an assignment. Email me and just say, Dr. Wolfe, this came up, right? You could, and then just say, is there a way that, we can maybe try to come up with a plan for a due date, right? What I don't want you to do is just to come into class and assume like, hey, it's the day of the test. Hey, I can't take this today. I won't allow that. But if you contact me early enough, all right, I want you to do well, and I will totally come up with a plan for you to succeed. So hopefully this video was helpful in terms of understanding kind of how this course rolls. Thanks for watching.